Live from WSLS, this is 10 News at Noon, working for you.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Patrick McKee. As the country continues to set records for coronavirus infections and deaths, the Pfizer vaccine could be approved for emergency use as soon as today. Now the challenge is, when it's approved, getting it out to those most in need. NBC's Tom Costello has more on rapid distribution plans.
Yeah, good day. So all indications right now are that the FDA is poised to, in fact, approve this vaccine very, very quickly. It said so this morning that it's already working on emergency use authorization. Really no question at all in that FDA statement they are going forward. And so now, how quickly might the trucks roll? We expect that the trucks could roll out of Pfizer's freezer farm. They have two of them in the Midwest. That could happen over the weekend, and then we could see the first vaccination starting on Monday or Tuesday. This is the Pfizer vaccine. Now, we have another vaccine before the FDA. That one's made by Moderna. We expect approval on the Moderna vaccine within a week or so, maybe 10 days. And then in January, we've got a vaccine coming from Johnson & Johnson going before the FDA. And then in February, AstraZeneca's vaccine will go for FDA approval. So according to the HHS secretary, we could see 100 million doses in arms by the end of February. Now, importantly, the advisory committee yesterday did have some, not really concerns, but some questions that they want addressed. Specifically on the Pfizer vaccine, they want more information about 16 and 17-year-olds getting the vaccine, whether it's safe, whether there are any side effects. Same thing for pregnant women. And they want more data, more research into those allergic reactions that some people suffered in the UK. But these are such small instances, so few instances, that really the advisory committee said that the risks are so minimal compared to the benefits when you have 3,100 people dying every single day in this country. We could see, again, the vaccines rolling within hours, certainly I would think by the end of the weekend. I'm Tom Costello here in Washington. Back to you.
The Commonwealth sees more than 3,000 new coronavirus cases. The Department of Health is reporting 274,438, an increase of nearly 3,400. We also saw 35 additional deaths, bringing the total since the start of the pandemic to 4,370. It's another round of COVID restrictions for the Commonwealth as cases continue to rise. Here's the breakdown. A modified stay-at-home mandate goes into effect Monday at 12:01 a.m. It encourages everyone to stay home between midnight and 5 a.m. Masks will be required in all indoor settings and outdoors if you're not 6 feet apart. Gatherings are now limited from 25 down to 10 people. Sporting events are limited to 25 spectators indoors and 2 per guest outdoors. These restrictions will be in place until at least the end of January. The governor says he will continue to enforce rules against businesses as well. So far, the state cited 181 for not following the rules. Positive COVID-19 cases continue to climb in Virginia prisons. Yesterday, the Department of Corrections reported 593 active cases among inmates and 227 among staff, which includes both employees and contractors. There have been more than 5,200 positive COVID-19 cases and 35 deaths among inmates since late March. More than 1,250 cases among staff have been confirmed since the spring. New at noon, we've learned Liberty University head football coach Hugh Freeze has tested positive for the virus. Since learning the news, he's self-isolated and is following all guidelines. Freeze says he's looking forward to rejoining the team next week. Dogs may be able to be trained to detect COVID-19. Detection dogs, like those that sniff out drugs or explosives at airports, are taught to sniff for certain infections and diseases. Now, some countries are exploring the possibility of using those types of dogs as a rapid, reliable, and relatively cheap way to pre-screen people for the virus. In a new study based in France and Lebanon, researchers took sweat samples from 177 patients at various hospitals. 95 were positive for COVID-19, 82 negative. 6 dogs had their sniffing abilities put to the test. They did dozens of trials with a success rate of between 76 and 100%. Experts say it's a promising first step, but more work is needed. Lawmakers in Washington are facing 2 major financially focused deadlines. One is how to keep the U.S. government running. The other, how to help millions of Americans during this pandemic. Unless Senate leaders fix last-minute differences, the U.S. government shuts down at midnight. Republican Senator Rand Paul wants colleagues to first agree to delay consideration of the National Defense Authorization Act over an amendment he says limits a president from withdrawing troops from war zones. Meanwhile, independent Senator Bernie Sanders is demanding a vote on a provision that gives Americans $1,200 stimulus checks.
In lines begging for food, looking for food for each meal for their children. And the renters are absolutely terrified that they're going to be evicted.
There is a sense of urgency in Congress to write and vote on a stimulus proposal because some aid programs that were approved in March, including jobless assistance measures and eviction protections, expire before the end of the year. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office needs your help this afternoon finding a missing woman. Take a look at your screen. This is 73-year-old Carolyn Saferight of Draper. She was last seen Tuesday driving a 2014 gold Toyota Avalon with Virginia license plate UTE 3405. If you know where she is or have seen her, you're asked to call the Sheriff's Office. We turn now to your forecast as things are starting to warm up a bit for us outside. Nice trend for us as we get closer and closer to the weekend. Meteorologist Chris Michaels joining us now with what we can expect as we head into this weekend. We're hoping this nicer weather continues.
Yeah, it's that nice combination. Cool mornings, warm afternoons, a little bit of something for everyone. And that is what's going to continue as we head into most of the weekend, at least. Lots of sunshine from our Poor Mountain Sky Cam overlooking the beautiful Roanoke Valley right now. You see those orange arrows indicating the warmer air that is coming in ahead of a storm system that we're tracking. You see that rain extending from Iowa south into Texas. Cold side of the system, we'll avoid that for the most part, but it is producing snow in parts of the upper Midwest. Temperatures right now, you see all that bright orange and red indicating temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees above the average for this time of year. That continues into the rest of the afternoon. Great weather to take the dogs for a walk. Temperatures upper 50s in the next hour or so, in the lower 60s by 4 p.m. Your forecast coming up in just a little bit. We'll track a front for the weekend, show you if that has an effect on your weekend plans, plus two systems next week. Which one has the chance of producing some wintry weather in about 10 minutes?
It's important to find the positives during the pandemic, especially during the holidays. Even though live holiday performances are not happening this year, one local dance company is more than proving the show must go on. In your Feel Good Friday, Rachel Lucas explains how they're using this as an opportunity to make dreams come true.
Dancing across the stage as Clara in the beloved holiday ballet, The Nutcracker.
It's really every ballerina's dream to be on stage and be the star and hold that Nutcracker until the last moment on stage before the curtains close.
With theaters shut down this year, dancing in front of a crowded auditorium is out of the question. But as Little Leapers performing arts company owner Heather Leeper says, the show must go on.
No is an answer, but it's not a solution.
That's why they've embraced the change and used it as an opportunity to give every little girl her Christmas dream of becoming the leading lady.
We thought in a year where we got nothing that we wanted, and the kids didn't get anything that they wanted, we would give them the one thing that we know they've always wanted.
Penelope, take one.
Using a green screen, they've created the Clara experience. Any little girl who learns the dance from a provided video can perform and be recorded starring in the show. The mice, Nutcracker, and other dancers will be added in later, a copy of which will arrive just in time for Christmas.
When the state said that, we couldn't perform, I really wanted to turn that into a magical and memorable experience for these kids that they would never forget.
You're scared, you're scared, you're scared.
And yes, while it looks different than in the past, it may just be a blessing in disguise.
Honestly, it's been more magical seeing them in that role in front of the cameras, and they're just lighting up.
An opportunity to shine. Many wouldn't have got any other year.
Very good, cut.
You can tell they truly believe that they are Clara. This is their moment. They're coming with their hair curled and their makeup on, just as any Clara who would do it on stage would.
For these tiny dancers, 2020 is their year to shine.
A magical experience indeed. Now, there is still time to have the Clara experience. It's open to all ages. They've got 2 more weekends they're filming. You can contact Little Leapers to sign up. Still to come, one of the hottest items for the holiday is also one of the hardest to get your hands on. The big problem people are facing when trying to snag a new Xbox or PlayStation.